Coke Machine for Real Fishing. Welcome to my clam flip hut. I am out here at South Bay today. I sort of walked out to the closest spot I could find, slightly deeper water. I'm about 23 feet of water, 22, between two islands here. It's a busy spot, this end of the lake, let me tell you. Lots of action. There's a group that's not too far from me right here who I hear hooting and hollering, and I assume they're getting some serious fish on out there. So the launch here at the end of Birch Grove Road, there's a few wet spots, a little bit slushy here and there, but the walk out here was quite dry. But like I said, the launch itself was a little bit slushy, a little bit wet. So I haven't seen anything bite yet today, but I've sort of gone through a few things. I forgot the mount for mounting my phone on the tripod to do the live stream, so I had to walk back to my truck. Mind you, it was only about a 10-minute walk back. It's still a bit, it was a bit sweaty. And then as well, I tried to fly my drone, and mysteriously all my drone batteries were almost dead. I'm not really too sure how that happened because I keep them charged as soon as I use the drone. Anyway, so the first time ever of flying my drone, it decided to land just like in the middle of the lake. You're not in the middle of the lake, but far away from where I was. Even though it said it was coming home, it just decided to land in a random spot. And luckily, I was able to figure out where it was by looking at like the last image that it recorded, which was like a truck and a fish hut. So I just figured out where it was there. It's a tiny little drone, right? So I was a little bit worried that I got a fish looking. I got a minnow head on. Come on. Sorry, not sorry. Oh. No. Looks like he disappeared. So yeah, anyway, the drone landed in the middle of the lake. I managed to collect it. I specifically got a drone that was a bright orange color so that I could spot it, because a lot of drones are sort of a whitey gray color. But right away, yeah, the batteries weren't fully charged for some reason. And then as well, I was trying to get some shots for somebody who asked me to get some shots of their cottage in this area, and the drone just wouldn't behave properly. It just kept telling me it was about to crash, even though it was 60 meters above the trees, and I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna have to maybe update the firmware. Not really too sure. So I'm hoping that the bite's gonna be on down here. I was highly debating as to where I was going to do my live stream today. I still haven't done a live stream. Well, I guess I did the one. I was gonna say I've never done a live stream at night at Sunset Point, but I did do the one when I was there with Pros Prime Time and those guys there, where I didn't really catch anything. And then I was debating about going to Yellock again, but then I'm gonna be doing Yellock next week with Lana Chevier, who's invited me out there. So right now, sorry, I've got a dead stick on one side with a very lively minnow, and on the other side I got my favorite green small buckshot rattle spoon with a minnow head on it. And I'm hoping that the bite's gonna happen. There's definitely a fish down there right now. Not particularly big fish. Fish nonetheless. He's eyeballing stuff. So my dead stick rod there has a tungsten little bead that I'm using that I have my minnow on. And then I got the buckshot rattle spoon on the right here. All right, so whatever fish it was decided to disappear. So yeah, last time I was at Calendar Bay there, somebody had, like, there's been a lot of construction around the little island there by the government dock, and they were flooding it out. They've been doing it all season, flooding out the area to thicken up the ice so they could build a light tower there. And then yesterday, when I was there in the morning, somebody brought to my attention the fact that there was a skid steer had gone through the ice. Oh, I think we got a fish here. No. Sorry, it looked like my minnow was being bitten here. Let me see if it's still on there. Minnow's still on. See, I've got this funny, I'm trying to make use of this guy here to do like the instant trigger set, but so far I haven't seen it do a really great job. Maybe it's a user issue, but I've seen it a few times where it's like pretty obvious that a fish has the thing in its mouth and I am not, and it's not going off. So let's see if we can just keep an eye on that rod, and I won't necessarily set the triggering mechanism. I'll just try to watch it. So yeah, I got pretty sweaty walking around all out here when I had to go back to the truck and whatnot. So that's why I've got the hut closed up and the heat on, because it's actually pretty warm out. It's somewhere in the area of it's got to be like -2, and it's a nice sunny day, not too much wind. It's a good day for fishing in the open air. Just I had gotten way too sweaty to do it. All right, I was going to look through some of these comments here. I realized there's been a bunch going on. I'm going to turn this towards my fish finder here. Oops, looks like I got that a little bit bright. Okay, so I'm going to adjust my fish finder so it's not so bright. So let me do that. And then we'll go through the comments there. Okay. Back on. So let's see. There we go. Fish finder's a little brighter. There we go. You guys can see what's going on. All right, gonna go through comments. Nader, what's up? Anthony, Antonino, how's it going? Tyler, take it you're probably coming up this weekend for some fishing. David Johnson, party time. Nader, you're asking how deep? I'm in 22 feet. 22 feet as we speak. Brent, you got a 27-inch pickerel in North Bay last weekend. That's awesome. What did that fish bite on? I'm going to guess a minnow and a jig. Nick Bruce, thanks for the good luck. I'm really hoping to catch the evening bite here in a pretty serious way. I know when I was down on Rosso this past weekend, I got into a pretty wicked ling bite. It was great. However, on reviewing my footage from my action camera, it was very dark when we were catching them, and then as well, I'd put the camera in a silly place, so there won't be a video about the ling, but I posted a picture of a bunch of lings on my Instagram, so you can check there. Steve, afternoon Coke. I was out there in South Shore last weekend and got nothing. Yeah, it seems like I got nothing yesterday morning when I was in Calendar Bay. Seems like it definitely happens. I really wish I'd brought some water here. I got to drink some lake water. Um, RPE. Hey, Coke, any slush issues with the milder temps? Sorry, I just arrived in case you already mentioned it. Uh, there has been. Last I heard, there was a bit of slush off of Sunset where somebody was stuck, but that was a few days ago. And I'm at the end of Birch Grove Road here. That's where I'm parked, and it's there's a little bit of like some wet spots there and some slush. Nothing like too bad as long as you can get around it. I mean, for a guy walking, it's no problem. I also went to check out the deep water point access point there, and I had seen pictures of it in really bad shape, and it looks like, I don't know if it's in better shape, but you could definitely walk out there, or drive a snowmobile. I don't know if I would drive a truck. Species 8472. It was good to get out to Rosso there because there was a lot of concern about whether or not there was going to be enough ice, but we did make it out there, and there was about 8 inches of good ice that we were on. There were some slushy spots out there on Rosso, and we had I had a lake trout that I basically had out of the water, and then when I went to grab him, I more or less pushed him back in the hole, and I guess what had happened was I thought my hook had pulled out, but it seems like on closer inspection, the line broke, and it was probably just old line kind of a thing. The lake trout wasn't a monster or anything. It was just a good eating size one. So I could have eaten a lake trout. Oh, I think I might have. Got something up high here. I'm thinking it's a herring. I'm just gonna dance this thing in front of him. Oh, he disappeared. Yeah, so, and then I guess on the Saturday night on Rosso there, me and my buddies there, we got set up on this reef, or in between. It was on a reef in between two hills, and there was some serious ling coming up that groove there, and so we caught 8 of them, all in like the 3-pound zone, and we kept 4, which we ate up, and they were delicious. I know there's some serious ling in this lake, and I know there's places I've been where I've caught a bunch of them at one time, and I'd love to do that again. I don't know if I'm gonna have time, nor like the time I went to get ling, it was out by the Manitous there, and we were riding my brother's snowmobile. So you're slaying them in Calendar Bay on Family Day, eh? I heard all about that. That Family Day weekend was a hot bite all around, it seems. So Kyle, you said you're out on Sunset right now, and it's very slow, one perch all day. You know, one guy, Ken Snodden, was telling me one day he had a real blistering day of hot perch action on Sunset, I think. But I guess it's here and there. So Alex, you say the fishing should start picking up Saturday and should be good until Thursday, based on the Solunar calendar. Right on. Well, I'm probably gonna be fishing on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, and then Thursday. It's really cutting down to the end of the season here, so I'm gonna be trying to like take advantage of every day I can get, since it's all gonna be ending soon. I was saying to my wife, I'm like, there's only 2 more weeks. Of course, once the season ends on Nipissing, I'll be out trying to get some trout in some of these back lakes, at least one day, because it's the annual tradition to go and get skunked on trout every year. And then in the spring, I'll try to get into some ice out trouting. Steve, as far as trying out Calendar Bay, good tips where to try. You know, I wish I knew myself. Okay. I think there's a fish down here. Sorry, there's something. Somebody's down here. There we go. Oh, no. I think that fish stole my minnow. He took a precision shot. Got the minnow head, no doubt. And now he's gone, but there's definitely a bite there. I see a cloud of something down there. I don't want to. Okay, there's definitely a fish down at the bottom. Come on. All right, I think he heisted my minnow. So I had a minnow head on there. I'm just gonna use the rest of the minnow body in case he's still down there. I know some people I fish with, they use just the minnow head, not the minnow body. But we're using both today. Okay. I betcha it's a perch. All right, anyway. So Bogue 209. Hey Coke, do you think out by the Manitous is the best spot for big burbot? Yes. I think it might be the best spot for more than one big burbot, or for multiple burbot. I'm gonna say definitely that's the Manitous is gonna be a spot where you're gonna find them, because there's some deeper water out there. And I guess I'm not a burbot master or anything like that, but you're sort of looking for shallow shoals beside deep water. I think I was in about 40 feet when I was out there fishing, and we caught multiple burbot size your leg. Maybe not size your leg. They were decent size though, like definitely in the, probably not double digit, but in the, 10 pound. No, let's say 5 to 8 pound zone. But there's big daddies out there. But I'm not a wizard of burbot fishing. But I can tell you that they do gather up. I'm trying to think of when exactly they do their breeding, if that's starting or finishing. I know on Rosso there that the burbot we cleaned were like jammed full of sperm sacs. They were all males, and they were jammed full of sperm sacs, like so much, so full were their sperm sacs that I wonder if they could even eat food, you know? It seemed like it was taking up most of their body. So species 8472, you're gonna ride out to Goose Islands on Sunday. Never fished them before, right? Trying to think of where Goose Island is. Okay, I think I got a fish coming in here. Just trying to rattle my little spoon there a little bit. Looker, not a taker, eh? I feel like there's some fish cruising through here definitely now. Guess as we're getting to the sunset, actual sunset bite. So Brent, you say, why is the January 6th video gone? Was that a live stream, or was that actually, because I'm using my phone right now, I can't really check that. That would be news to me. The only reason I would ever delete a video, if it's a live stream and the live stream got screwed up early, I don't usually delete anything. So I will go and check that out after the live stream's done here. Because, like I said, I don't usually delete anything, and I haven't had any major strikes against me on YouTube. Although what would make you laugh a little bit is that the only trouble I ever get from YouTube is that it gets upset with me. The algorithm, or not the algorithm, but the system gets upset with me when I use some of my own published tracks in my videos, because like when I try to use I Cook with Ice, I get this big warning that they're like, this is a copyright track. And I'm like, yeah, copyrighted by yours truly. It's just the body that governs, like the organization that governs copyrighted music. They're in cahoots with YouTube and trying to eliminate, I guess, other people using my track. But it's funny when myself as the sole author of the track gets in trouble for using it as much as they want. It's just they can't monetize it. CD Baby makes sure of that, and they collect all my royalties on that particular track, and then they take a cut out of it. Whereas if I was just to not release the track in a big way, they would I would collect all the royalties. It's funny like that. Huh. So it was a January video from this year. To look at the back end of my YouTube there to figure out what the scoop was. I don't know, but I'll check it out. Come on, fish. Oh, there's some fish coming up. It's like there's definitely, I'm between these two islands, and it's sort of like both islands are really shallow with like lots of shallow water around them, and then this one little groove that's maybe 40 yards across, it goes down to 23 feet. So I figured that they're going to be coming through this way. But the funny part is that this whole area is like very busy with all sorts of huts. So you start to wonder, like, if this was a great fishing spot, then why aren't there more people set up right here? However, I know a lot of people just sort of, they got their spot and they set up there every year, and that's the way it works. But yeah, I'm only about I'd say a half K out from the launch. So come on, fish, let's go. Really done too much of is just straight up hook and minnow, and I might just have to try it. Right on. Sorry, thought I saw something there. We're gonna check my other line here, make sure there's still a minnow on there. Surprise, surprise. Feels light. Real light. Minnow free. So let's try that. And I thought I brought him here. Let me check my pockets here. I'll put on a small golden spoon with this dead stick with a minnow on it. We'll see if we can get whoever's stealing my minnows to come back. There's definitely somebody in there checking it out. They like checking it out when it's not moving. And the second it moves, they're gone. Okay, let's see if I got bells in my pocket, because I thought I did. Oh yes. That should solve that problem for me. Minnows getting heisted. There's definitely a nice sunset going down out there. I'm probably going to try to be out here till about half hour after sunset. And hopefully I'll get a big light on. Brad Croft. Boy, I thought you disappeared, man. The other day I was like, that Brad guy, I haven't heard from that guy in a long time. Glad to see you're back. Okay. So, get a minnow. Put him on this dead stick with the bell. I'm going to put on my other line, good old all right, down goes dynamite. One side. It's gonna be my minnow. Just getting that down there with the bell on. Looks like we got a fish. Just gonna let that minnow do its thing. Just gonna hold the rod for a second. There seems to be a fish down there. I've got my rod holder set up. Or pardon me, my fish finder in its very own dedicated hole. Okay, so there's a fish down there. It's gonna try to rattle. All right, is he down there? Oh wait, so I'm gonna try to go classic jig head minnow combo. Let's see how that plays out. But I'm gonna keep this buckshot rattle spoon on hand because faves. And go with a gold sprinkle jig. These ones always do me pretty good in the summertime. I'm just gonna put the minnow right on there. Just trying to turn on the light in here. So today I'm using some Trapper Joe's finest baits. I've been going to Billy Bob's a lot. It's just this morning I happened to be around Trapper Joe's. All right. Got the minnow on and a classic through the mouth hook job. Actually gonna put on my lamps ready to go. Yep, that's good. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm on the bottom with my minnow. Pat LeBlanc, good luck. Thank you. Yeah, I guess now, Brad, that the COVID lockdowns and stuff like that are over. I'm sure you're quite a bit busier with work, eh? So you're up on South Shore for a couple days, rented a nice bungalow. Fishing wasn't good. What operator were you out with? I mean, fishing can be good and not good for everybody. I'm sure, but oh, sorry, I heard my bell ring. T Bishop. Yeah, let's see some fish. Seen lots of fish on the radar, and so far they've taken minnows from me, but yet I've yet to get one to bite and hold on good. But there seems to be a couple fish coming through. We got about 24 minutes left in the broadcast here. I guess we've got, sunset's going down a little later now, which is great. It's always nice to see. And then, of course, I think the time change, it's not happening this weekend, but the next weekend. So that should be interesting. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I was trying to find a headlamp. Thought it was in my pocket. Oh, there we go. I'm probably missing a really great sunset here. Let me take a look at there. Oops. Oh, looks like I totally missed the sunset. I guess it did happen at 6 p.m. So we're at the aftermath now. All right, fish. There's a touch of light left in the day. Let's see it. Oh yes, Lake Nipissing Ice Fishing Charters. I was out with them in early February there. February. It was I think I caught a perch. Overall that was like a super freezing weekend. And so we didn't sorry, we didn't see much action. It was quiet. I think the day after my brother and his buddies caught a few more fish. But you know, from what I understand, on that same day we were out there, another caught a whole whack of perch. So I guess we were just not in a lucky spot that day. Did you get, Brad? Did you get a like the ice bungalow you got? Was it like 4-man, 6-man? I've been having that kind of situation a lot lately, where I see fish on the radar and they don't bite. That's happened to me already today. Yeah, you got it. It's called fishing, not catching. 4-man. Did you have a crew of folks you came up with? Come on, fish. I feel like since I put the sprinkle ball on, I've seen less action. I guess that's always the way, eh? It's like if you have, if you, I, what I was gonna say, Brad, is that the way the operators generally work is that if you don't have full occupancy, you're still paying for full occupancy. So I'm sure that was a pricey adventure for you. Yeah, I think the one we were in was a 4-man, and we had four people, and it was sort of the sort of thing where you had one hole each. It wasn't like too tight, one hole each, and then if it was better weather, we would have had some tip ups outside, but it was kind of crazy weather, cold wise, so we didn't really do that. Ah, yeah, midweek tends to be quieter, that's for sure. I was actually quite surprised when I came out here today, because this particular launch site here is really banging. Oh, the minnow's really ringing down there. The this launch here is like really banging on the weekend, but it was pretty quiet today. Like I only saw a couple trucks. I guess a lot of the trucks are out near their huts and stuff, but last time I was here, it was just like big full lot there, and I guess it's all the outfitters launching out of this area, or a lot of the outfitters do. But today it was like, I think there was a truck, like there's a couple trucks in the big lot, and then a truck or two on the ice. That's 210 each for 2 days. That's actually quite good. Um, but I guess you said it was midweek, eh? Because that's a good deal. Like I still owe my brother money from that particular trip that he and I and his buddies went on. I couldn't do the full thing, so I sort of agreed to pay for half to help offset the cost. for those guys because they're gonna have to pay the difference for only having 3 guys. Yeah, that tends to be about the price people pay, is about $210. It's the kind of thing where I often think to myself, like, wow, like, it's so expensive to stay out in these bungalows, but it really is part of the experience, is like living on the ice. Like, you're paying for that sort of adventure, living on the ice in a bungalow. It's good times. Everybody's got a place to stay. Now that I've got a kid, I realize it's a little bit harder to have friends up to go ice fishing. So it's like the kind of thing where, even though it seems icy, it's like definitely hits the spot. People rent up a bungalow. So I was thinking, like, we have usually every year I do like a cousin's fishing adventure with my cousins, which is easy enough when we lived on the lake, because I don't live on the lake anymore. And now I got a kid and all that. It's like having the cousins over for the weekend is not so easily done, because it's more or less a big party. So it seems like the kind of thing where a bungalow rental might be in the future. The tough part is getting enough people to commit in a solid way to the event, because some of my cousins there, some of them 100% dependable. Others, they'll tell you they're coming, and then 2 weeks before, they all of a sudden are no longer coming. And that's the trouble. You don't want to be stuck with that pay, or that amount to have to pay. Okay, I think I got a fish looking real hard. Come on, buddy. It's just a minnow eating off the bottom. Disappeared. All right. Well, let's hope in the next 15 minutes that the bite comes on fast. I haven't had a chance to eat any walleye yet this year. My son insisted that we keep one of the herrings that we caught the other day on Thursday. And I have eaten them before, and they were quite tasty, with the exception of the worms. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how it is when I cut it up. It's frozen right now, frozen solid. So these guys close by here, they've got tip-ups outside their hut. Every once in a while I hear them running for them. It seems like they're in a competition to see who can get to the tip-up first, which is cool. You just hear them be like, "That's mine! No, it's mine!" I don't know if any of them have landed any fish, though. It seems like by the time they get there, the fish is off. I think I might need to throw down a rattle bait for a minute here. I got some chili on the cook at home. I'm planning on eating. So look at that. But let's see. Put a classic rattle wrap down. I sure hope my drone isn't completely bonkered, because it's been a sweet thing to have. To see, I think I just charge the batteries and try again. So for anybody who's watching there, if you haven't hit the like button, if you do that, do me a favor, hit the like and enjoy the show. Let's see if we can rattle up some fish in the last few minutes here. It was from Steve from North River, but really wishy-washy on where I was today. And I figured by the time I figured it out that, I didn't want to call you guys and be like, yeah, it's 2:00. I've decided where I'm going. Yeah, so I just pulled out my flip hut out here. It's been a while since I've had it out, actually. The seat's kind of wet. But yeah, I didn't get the full message there, Steve, because it was a text, but it just came up on top. Okay. I saw another message come up, but it's not the complete message. It's just part of it. But yeah, glad to hear you guys are doing good. It's like I'll have to check those full messages at the end of the live stream, Stever, just because they're just coming up as little abbreviated messages on my screen here because I guess my phone is the streaming device. So, but yeah, we'll chat. We'll see what we can do. I know the very last days of the season, I'll be down with Paradise Cove with Regan Thompson there. And that's close to the French River, I believe, which is a whole area I haven't even been to. I'll have to give Regan a call and see what kind of things can go down there, because I know my brother does have a snowmobile, so I'm not sure if there's opportunities to rip somewhere else. And then, yeah, this season's coming to a close fast. It stung again, getting the rent out yesterday. I was just like, oh man, it sucks to have your rent double. So we'll be enjoying the end of the season here. One thing I do enjoy about living in town now is that it is a little bit easier for me to get to work and a little bit easier to get the boy to daycare and so forth. It's kind of crazy to think about my son going to school next year. So my wife and I are busy trying to figure out, all the ins and outs of that and what that's going to look like. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Mike O'Rourke. I have eaten the herring before, and they are delicious. However, the herring in Nipissing, and there's no way to tell, because sometimes when you look at a lot of fish, you can tell when they have the yellow worms and the black worms. You can check their gills and see. But with the worms that you get in these herring, which I have never seen in any other kind of fish, they almost look like tapeworms, like in the flesh, and like these sort of blobby things. I've only really cleaned 3 of them, and after the herring. But if you don't mind cutting around the worms, they are quite tasty, and their meat smells sort of like cucumber. But yeah, and one guy was telling me he basically brines them up and dehydrates them, like in little, slices. So that's the way he does it. I don't think I've ever seen anyone else do that before. That was Stephen J. LaRue also known as the Fishing Magician. He has his own YouTube channel if you want to check it out. I think it's just called Stephen J. LaRue. I don't know if he's got any tutorials on how to jerkify herring, but apparently it's possible. Down to the last 7 minutes here. I wonder what the fish were that were stealing, that stole my minnows so far. I'm going to say perch, because they're crafty like that. But, you know, of course there are crafty walleye as well. Come on, fish. It seems like right around sunset there was definitely some fish coming through on the radar. But it seems like they really called it quits here. Mike O'Rourke, I like that thinking. I would love to catch a 12-pound walleye right now. Michael Gates, the bite has not been happening. There was definitely a few minnows that got taken, but overall, I haven't seen any solid action yet. I think for the last 5 minutes, I'm gonna put on a glowing rattle spoon. It'd be another. I already got one set up with a minnow on it, so maybe I'll just. No, I've got some of these guys. I think I'm going to throw one of these guys down with a minnow on it. It's a glower. Just let me glow it up good. All right. This one's got a little blade on it. Put this minnow on. All right. All right, that's the last 5-minute minnow. Let's see if we can get it going. Michael Gates. Right now I'm in, I know you can't see very clearly on my screen there. I don't know if that's because of brightness issues, probably. I'm in 22 feet. 22 feet of water. Just gonna. All right. That's a little bit better. Yeah, not great. Things are getting a little grainy out here, and I guess probably because of my light here, it's not helping much. All right. I guess the light that I brought out here with the intention of illuminating things tonight is half dead, so that's not much use. So let's make sure okay. Okay, so Mike Gates, you say you're interested in coming back up one more time before the season shuts down. Thanks for the updates. Michael Rourke, hoping to get out Saturday morning, but a lot of snow coming Friday night down there, eh? I heard you guys had some sort of a ice storm down there. People are telling me it's like spring in southern creeping up on us here. I think the next couple days is going to be pretty warm. I'm actually half tempted to make a trip up to Temagami this weekend and walk out a little bit. Luckily, Temagami is relatively easy to get to some deeper water, but it's also massive, so it's often difficult to try to find where the fish are. So Michael Gates, you said you're on Lake Vernon a couple days ago, and the fish were extremely neutral. Yeah. I can't say yet that I've hit a day on Nipissing where it's been really on fire for me. But again, a lot of times when I'm fishing on Nipissing, it's like I'm doing the live stream, and it's usually just like I have like an hour and maybe a little bit of a lead up to the live stream. And then I haven't really had a chance to really put in some solid days. Like back before I had kids or a kid, my brother and I and his buddy, we would sit out here for like days, and eventually you would hit a pretty wicked bite. All right, sure. So Chris Mackay asked, so lunch fish come in of a dry, so I'm gonna be closing up the stream now. Thank you for coming. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. And we will catch you another day. I probably will be live streaming a lot in the mornings after my shifts up in the hut, or in my, pardon me, the back of my truck. I might sneak out to Sunset or maybe Kins. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks, everybody. And we will see. So we'll see you guys on Monday morning or Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning. We're all. So have a great night, everybody.